Welcome everyone to the first Beneath the Surface for 2025.
Huh? You can get four.
You're wasting my time.
They're gonna say, let's see what
getting in
these
my
fools
talented
up
head.
to.
It's time to go beyond the drill bit with Beneath the Surface.
Welcome back everyone to the first episode of 2025 of Beneath the Surface, where we get to meet some of our DWS family members. I'm Toby Ricketts, Superintendent here in the Haynesville. I've been in the industry for 23 years, 7 years at Deepwell. We have today Allen Bourgeois. He's our field foreman here in the Haynesville.
I'm Allen Bourgeois. I've been in the industry 38 years. I've been with Deepwell 6 years now.
This week we're filming from the Haynesville office, so it's a little bit of change of scenery from what y'all used to. Keep watching to learn more about Allen, and we'll take a trip out to HCU 15. Our first question of the day. Allen, what inspired you to take a role in the oil and gas industry?
Money. Yeah.
Oh, it's not so easy, huh?
Huh? It was.
So you got money?
Well, yeah, because, at the time, there wasn't much work in the 80s and the oilfield crash. So you had to find some good work, and it was hard work. And so I had an uncle that was in it. He said, you need to come give it a try, because the job I had was really hard. So within 4 months, I was overseas, and the rest is history.
What brought you to Deepwell?
I was on a cruise, and my brother Sterling mentioned to my wife, Miss Kim, about me getting back into snubbing. So while we was on this cruise, she emailed my resume to Deepwell, and all of a sudden I get a surprise call from Brandy asking, you want to get back into snubbing? Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah. That was 5.5 years ago now.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we have Miss Kim to thank that you're here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, we are. Everybody knows Miss Kim.
How's the industry changed since you've started in it? Have you seen any changes within Deepwell since you started here?
Oh, yes. I started snubbing in June of 1986. Back then, the pay wasn't a lot, but it was constant work if you was a hard worker. You didn't have the support. You had some support and good people that you recognized within the business. We, as in me and you, this is our second company we work for. As you move up the ladder, you do know who your support group is. When we came to Deepwell, it was a totally different oil field. The analytics and just everything, you can go back and check and see what's going on. And back then, when I started, you had to take somebody's word on it. Now you can say, yes, you did. You got everything that shows. It changed for the better.
So the technology has changed tremendously.
Most definitely. And the units. I came from a time where each piece was separate. Now it's a package. You pick it up one lift. We had to unroll every hose and stretch it out, or the whole process has increased.
Definitely. So the efficiencies of rigging up and just work over work and well over well.
The scope of the jobs itself don't change that much, well intervention, stuff like that pretty much stays the same. The thing that changes is the perception, I think, of what a hydraulic workover unit, a HCU, can do for the customer in this day and age compared to back then. For one, you got the training that we have for our guys is just amazing. Back then it was, if I wanted to move up, say from a lead hand to an operator, that operator in front of me had to train an operator. You can operate for 5 years before you even, got in that supervisor position, or you operated for a year before you even got the title as that, right?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I can guarantee you, coming up from when I started, it's totally different. And at Deepwell, a lot of the guys don't realize the path that they have, that it's set in place for them already. And, it's got the steps of what they need to do to get to where they, could become a supervisor here and move their career path along.
And the thing is the support. All the support that you have here within Deepwell, you just make one phone call and they take care of it. They know what's going on. They can look back at the trend. You got people to back you up no matter what position or where you're at, right?
What do you think your position, gives to Deepwell as a field foreman for the listeners? How is your position out in the field helping these supervisors, helping these operators keep the job moving forward?
My position is 24 hours a day, which I don't mind at all. Anybody can call me days, nights, on days off, knowing deep well's policies and procedures. Now, when I started, it was a learning progress. Everybody's different. So being able to go out to a job location, talk to the guys, hey, look, we're implementing this. So you got to lead by example. To me, that's 100%. You have to do it. You have to lead by example because everybody's watching you. I totally believe in everybody's a sponge. You got to soak up all the information you can. And you're going to get to a position where you won't know everything, but you got somebody to go follow up and ask. Even though I've been doing this so long, I will never say I know everything because I don't. But I know somebody that knows everything or close to it, right? We had the fortunate to work with some people like that, me and yourself. I'm there for them. They know they can call me 24/7, and I help them with any kind of support. Them knowing that just makes their job a lot better. They can concentrate on what they have to do, and I take care of the small stuff.
Definitely, and I think that's one of the biggest things that Deep Well's done, here that I hadn't had at other companies is the amount of support, from the field level up to the, office level, everything in between. There's multiple people to call. There's tons of people to talk to about stuff, and there's a lot of procedures in place already that protects us as a company. So,
the policies and procedures are in place, just like the old saying goes. It's probably written in somebody's blood. And I hate to say it like that, but, things change. You can do something one way for 100 times. That 101 is really going to mess you up. When you consider something family, you don't want your family getting hurt. So I don't want this guy. I might have met him a week ago, but I'm going to do my best to make sure he goes home. And that's also part of the field foreman position. You taking care of guys. You trying to make sure they're aware. We got their back on anything, but you got to take your time and do it right?
And we say it all the time, one team, one family.
Yep, I agree. Maybe what makes you proud of being at Deep Well or being in the oil and gas industry in general? And my thing was seeing people like Philip, like you, Jeremy Williams, Rodney Redmond, Doug Lackendack, seeing all you guys start as green hats and coming to Deep Well. Next thing you know, y'all superintendents, y'all Soup 4s, Soup 3s, and thinking that at one time I had just a minute part in what y'all became, and you think about it, it's really something to be proud of, because Doug Lackendack, dad, was, when I was operating, was my supervisor. And then you saw Doug start up, and we gave him really a hard time because of his dad being in a higher up position, First job I met Toby on was in Alaska. He was a green hat. That was in 2010, I think.
2002.
Oh, that's right, 2002 when we first went there. Working with Philip Thibodeau, and now he's a superintendent on his first supervising job, and you see how people come up and still in the business. Once you get it in your blood, it's hard to get rid of,
Oh, yeah, and a lot of people don't realize the multi-generations that's in this. Like, I've worked here, my son worked here. It stays pretty close to you whenever this is all you've done, your whole career.
And it makes a good living, but, it's for certain people. You talk to the new guys. I was talking to one last night. He's on the onboarding this week. And he's like, you got any pointers? Man, be a sponge. Be a sponge. Suck it all in. I said, I'm going to tell you now, you won't comprehend everything they're going to teach you. I said, but if you get a little bit here and there, you're going to, I'm nothing like the supervisors I had before me. You probably won't, but you take a little bit of pieces of each one to mold yourself, right? Everybody does that. You can't say, well, I'm just like this guy. No, you're not. When I started, you had 4 people on a snubbing unit. It's changed a lot. Everything from being passionate, because we didn't know at all what was coming on or what we were getting into when we first started this business or started into the business. But we knew it was going to be hard work because he always knew somebody that was in it. It's like, oh, you sure you want to do this? Like, yeah. And the people that did snubbing, you knew they took care of business, right? You had pride, and, we didn't have the fanciest trucks at the time or the fanciest equipment, but we had equipment to be able to handle whatever we needed to accomplish, you know.
Definitely. And for all our younger listeners, 1986, yes, Allen is very, very old.
I can't tell you who was the top Grammy winner for sure.
What's the driving force that has kept you in the industry for this long?
In snubbing, it's never a dull moment. I never, ever wanted to do anything different. For one, the drilling, to being somewhere different all the time. I couldn't go to the same place every day. And it challenged you. There's no book that can tell you what that well is going to do when you get on it, right? It challenged you to make sure you have your wits about you. You take care of your equipment, because that equipment is saving you. Somebody asks me, well, what, you got 5 more years? I don't know. 10 more years? I don't know. I still love what I do. I love my job. I love meeting the new people. I like telling a story, telling the new guys, and just being there for them, because we are their support. Hopefully one day they'd have the passion I have. And, when I'm old and gray and barely walking around, I see somebody, wow, you still in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I always say that. I'll be in this until I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Just interesting, and every job, every turn of the page is something different. So it just keeps you in it.
It's like anything else. When the passion wears out, then you might as well just be done with it. But until that, just enjoy it, because this job, being in the snubbing industry altogether, has gifted me a lot. I missed a lot in my life, but the benefit is there. We see guys that we came up with, that how good they doing, and it's been, like I said, a great life. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything other, not at all.
Thanks for joining us in the Haynesville office. We'll see you next time to get beyond the drill bit with Beneath the Surface.
Got it. Ain't nothing natural about you, Toby.